I wasn't originally planning on telling this story to the chat, but I told it, all of it except for one part, to Tasteless yesterday, and he thought it was a great story. Lan Marin, thanks for gifting a sub. Alright, here's the story. Okay. So my oldest daughter, Aria, she's 8 years old. She's been asking for a pet for years and years and years and years. Like, really asking. Like, she's not stopping asking to have a pet. So, you know, it's like real. Like, she really wants one, right? So we're like, all right, let's get her a hamster. Okay? So we buy her a hamster. $10 hamster. At the equivalent of Walmart out here. She takes great care of it. Loves it. She's reading like this really thick book on hamsters. Like, she's really putting herself into it. Doing a great job. She cleans up after him, feeds him, checks everything, plays with them multiple times a day. It's really nice. It was a good choice. Anyways, someone noticed the other day. It was about 2 weeks ago. It was 13 days ago or 14 days ago, something like that. There was like this little bump on the hamster's side. And so my wife was like, maybe it's like ringworm or something. We don't really know anything about hamsters. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, let's bring him to the vet, right? So we check our local vet that we normally go to, that we know really well. They don't do hamsters. It's, you know, it's like cats and dogs at that vet. That's pretty normal for anyone who's had small animals before. You have to go to special vets for that. And so we use this concierge service that basically just calls a bunch of vets for us and sees who takes hamsters that's near us. Okay, so we find a place. And by the way, we found there was 2 bumps on the hamster, one on each side. You know, not too worried, but it's like, oh, it might be something. So anyways, we go to this doctor. We go down, meet him, talk to him a little bit. And so he's like looking at the hamster. He's like, how old is it? It's, you know, it's like 4 months old or something, 5 months old. So he's like, yeah, it can't be tumors or anything like that. It's, you know, it's too young to be sick. And then he brings the hamster in the back, shaves around the little bumps, puts the shavings into little vials, which will tell him if it's like a fungal thing within a week, right? So he's looking at it, he's like, yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to prescribe you a cream to put on it, and I'm going to prescribe you, you know, some oral medicine, like that you mix with water, whatever. So we get those medicines, bring them home. My daughter's being great, given the hamster's name is Tuesday, by the way. Giving Tuesday, you know, medicine each day, rubbing the cream on, taking good care of him. And he said come back in a week. So we go back. Okay, this was last Tuesday. We went back. After my stream, we just hop on the subway, go down. And so we go in, and he's like, "Oh, it hasn't gotten better." He's like, "You know, I think it's fungal, but I'm not 100% sure." And he brings the hamster back, then he comes back, and he's like, "Well, I mean, it could be this, and it could be that, and you know, like," he's like, "Here, like, we can give the hamster a surgery and remove them, or if you would prefer, we can do a biopsy on the lumps." And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, it's a hamster, right? Like, you can't give a surgery to such a tiny animal. That doesn't even make sense. Like, what the fuck? It's tiny, right? The hamster's like, it's like that big. It's tiny. So I'm like, no, why don't you just give us some more medicine, and we'll try for another week on medicine. So he switches up the medicine a little bit, gives us medicine. We take the hamster home, right? The hamster's acting completely normal, doesn't act sick at all. Nothing. So I told my wife about it, and she's like, yeah, why would we do a hamster surgery? That doesn't even seem to really make sense, right? Anyways, when I was at casting ASL on Saturday night, right? Normally I help my daughter, like I hold the hamster or something while she's giving him medicine. And my wife is doing it, and she looks at it. She looks at the hamster who has the shaved things around the bumps, and she's looking, and she's like, it's so weird that there's one on either side of the hamster. And so Then she Googled like weird mole on hamster. Or on Syrian hamster, or whatever it is. I think it's a Syrian hamster that we have. And guess what comes up? They are fucking scent glands on the hamster. These are natural things that are on hamsters, the scent glands. See this? See right there? See those? That's what it is. Okay? They're scent glands. It's a normal thing that all hamsters have. So this fucking doctor, how the fuck do you become a doctor who is supposed to be a doctor for hamsters and not know that they have fucking scent glands? That's like if you are a doctor for humans and a human walks into your office and takes their shirt off and you're like, oh my God, what are those? You want me to remove those for you? And you're like, those are my nipples. All humans have them. You're supposed to be a fucking doctor. How could this even be? How could anyone be so fucking stupid as this doctor? He is either evil or the stupidest human. I am disgusted. Now I'm going to tell you the little part I didn't get to, I didn't think to tell Nick last night when I was telling him about this craziness. Okay? Every time I meet someone new and have more than a 10-second conversation with them in Korea, it always comes up what my job is. Okay? So, the first time I met him, he's like, oh, are you an English teacher out here? I said, oh, no, I host a TV show. It's like, oh, really? And this, every conversation is exactly the same. Every single one goes exactly like this. I'm like, yeah, he's like, oh, where? I'm like, oh, Africa TV. It's StarCraft. I'm a StarCraft commentator. And basically everyone that's above 30 but below 50 has played StarCraft, and it is a StarCraft player basically out here. That's just every guy that I've ever met in that age bracket likes StarCraft 1, plays StarCraft 1. He's like, oh, StarCraft, I really like StarCraft. It's like, oh, that's cool, yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm a Terran player. And I want you guys to guess what fucking race he told me he was. He goes, oh, I'm Protoss. This is a 100% true story. I did not make up a single fucking word of this story. This happened in my real life. A hamster doctor doesn't know that hamsters have fucking scent glands and offers to do surgery upon the hamster to remove the scent glands. Of course it's a fucking Protoss. He doesn't have any idea what he's doing. It's a real fucking story, guys. This happened to me. I haven't been back because I found out Saturday night. My wife looked it up. I've just basically been wallowing in my own anger. I was supposed to go back tomorrow. I can't even believe that this happened. Like, how the fuck do you go through school and then claim to be a hamster doctor and not know some of its anatomy? What if I was like, oh my God, I think he got cut. He's got these flaps on the side of his head, which by the way would be his ears. Would the guy be like, oh shit, we can remove those for you? Or maybe we should just give him stitches and stitch those ear flaps down. Literally the stupidest fucking person I've ever met. 80 bucks. 80 fucking dollars is how much the 2 vet bills came to. Plus, you know, it took a bunch of time out of 2 of my Tuesday evenings. I had to bring my daughter down and, you know, spent time giving him medicine and shit. 80 is not cheap, guy in the chat. Someone's saying 80 is cheap. 80, like, he should have paid me college fucking tuition. Because guess what? Now that I know that hamsters have scent glands, I literally know more about hamsters than this doctor. I am a more qualified, far more qualified doctor than he is. It's not even close. Because guess what I won't do? I won't cut pieces of your hamster's anatomy off. I won't do it. So I'm a much better doctor than this fucking guy. So actually, he should be paying me. So yes, $80 is expensive.